Hello, everyone. I guess we're live unexpectedly. We're just talking about the cards if they're in the right position or they're upside down. They should be fine. But hello, everyone. My name is Daria. I'm the community developer for Division 2, and today with me, Yannick, creative
Hello.
director for the Division 2, and welcome to Year 5, Season 3 Vanguard livestream special report. And apart from the new season, we're also going to be coming back to Project Resolve, discussing some changes that were made following PTS feedback that we received, and showing you some new goodness. But before that, to remind you of the events of the previous season and transition to Season 3, let's watch analyst report made by NGN.
Agents, we've recovered 5 more hostages that were taken during the attack on the White House, including Vic's sister, Birdie, who has vital intel on the Black Tusk's infrastructure and systems, and Nat's plans for the mobile SHD servers, as it was Birdie who was tasked with building and maintaining their power supply. However, it was through this rescue that another layer of deceit was uncovered. Agent Brian Johnson was unmasked as the recruiter. Johnson used his position as your handler to hide intel that was uncovered and was almost successful in stealing the mobile SHD server. The revelation that hunters walk among the agents further divides the already fragmented division ranks, and Vic questions who else could be a hunter and points the finger at Kelso. Manny refuses to believe that Kelso is a hunter. However, we are unable to clear her name at this stage because she has gone missing. Agents, we need to find Kelso and uncover what she has been doing in New York.
Thank you so much, NGN, for another amazing recap. And I think pretty much all of you already guessed that our main goal for Season 3 is to locate missing Agent Kelso.
What is going on with Kelso? That's the question, right? You may remember from Season 11, we had the conclusion of Season 11 with the attack on the White House. And then at the end of that, Kelso said she was going to go to New York to check on Heaven and make sure that this settlement was secured. And well, we haven't really, talked about it or emphasized that, but she hasn't come back since. She has been spending quite some time in New York, like during Season 1 and Season 2, as we were rescuing civilians. She was all the time in New York. Manny mentioned that a couple of times. So now it's time to actually go and see what has she been up to, and now she's gone missing. So what's going on there?
And this time around, what is especially interesting about the season is that we are not going to be going after specific people, after specific targets. Those are going to be the locations. So basically, agents are tasked with retracking Kelso's steps and following her and looking at the clues that might be at those locations.
Yeah, it's just another twist on the manhunt formula. So, we used to have enemy targets. Then in the past couple of seasons, we had civilians to rescue. And this time it's going to be not direct targets, but it's going to be about investigation and retracing the steps of Kelso and finding out and catching up to her and understand what's happening here.
Yep. And for the manhunt, we can also reveal the calendar. That is going to be, I would say, surprising, considering that some of the details we just gave out about the specific locations, but also about the apparel events this season.
Do we have the calendar?
We do.
Here it is. Yeah, less faces, more places. So as we said, every target now is actually a location. And yes, you can see at the bottom of that 2 apparel events this season. Again, a brand new one, Veil Tactics, and then a return as a second apparel event in the season, a return of Last Resort, which was the apparel event we did, I think was with the release of Warlords of New York, which was revisiting looks inspired from the New York faction, so the Cleaners and the Rikers. So a pretty cool apparel event.
And we're going to talk about it in more detail a bit later, but let's also watch the new trailer for the Season 3 Vanguard.
I trust Kelso. I don't believe she could be a hunter. But trust has to be earned. When we put it in the wrong people. Just look at what's happened to this country. Agents were trained to blend in, to hide in plain sight. How can we know their true mission? We can't survive without trust. I trust Kelso. But I've been wrong before.
Do we have the calendar?
We do.
Ah. Here it is. Yeah, less faces, more places. So as we said, every target now is actually a location. And yes, you can see at the bottom of that 2 apparel events this season. Again, a brand new one, Veil Tactics. And then a return as a second apparel event in the season, a return of Last Resort, which was the apparel event we did, I think was with the release of Warlords of New York, which was revisiting looks inspired from the New York faction, so the Cleaners and the Rikers. So a pretty cool apparel event.
And we're going to talk about it in more detail a bit later, but let's also watch the new trailer for the Season 3 Vanguard.
I trust Kelso. I don't believe she could be a hunter. But trust has to be earned. When we put it in the wrong people. Just look at what's happened to this country. Agents were trained to blend in, to hide in plain sight. How can we know their true mission? We can't survive without trust. I trust Kelso. But I've been wrong before.
Sorry about that.
I did.
But yeah, the gist of Hunter's Fury, just to talk about it, is yes, so we are reducing the bonus on the 3-piece bonus from plus 100% health on kill to plus 50% health on kill. And the main reason for that is because on the side, with all the changes we're doing to brand sets, health bonuses are going to be much more of a thing now. And so actually having health-based builds is going to be more accessible, and therefore we wanted to make sure that Hunter's Fury, which is a great set for health builds, does not become completely overpowered with that. And giving 100% health on kill would have been ridiculous. So it's just us anticipating health builds and therefore giving more tools to make Hunter's Fury more interesting, but therefore making sure so it remains at the right level of power and doesn't become a new meta.
Yeah, thank you so much for noticing it.
Sorry.
Let's pretend that it was intentional, because last time you were criticized for shuffling your cards, and this time around I couldn't even see that there is another point left to be talked about in the
Pay
cards
attention.
that I made. Okay, season pass. Yeah, finally. Just a quick reminder that a season pass is going to be available for 1,000 premium credits in the game store. It grants additional access to a really cool outfit and a mask called Menpo. And it's going to be available basically to all the Warlords of New York owners and Ubisoft Plus subscribers. And just to show you a few things, here is Menpo, by the way. Very cool samurai looking mask and outfit, also in the colors of the season. Really love how it looks. And on the premium track, this time around, we're going to have 9 weapon skins, 10 dice, 2 new emotes, 2 vanity outfits. This is one of them. There is also another one that is more tactical, called Crescent. And yeah, there is some very, very fun weapon skins that I would love for you to see, if we can. Oh, this is another outfit called Crescent. It's
Crescent, yeah.
more tactical one. And some of the weapon skins. I honestly do not really remember what's the name of this one.
We don't have the names on the
Yeah,
cards. So
I'm really sorry, but I really love
and,
the look
and
of it.
somehow we don't know all of them by heart. We're so unprepared. This is a nice one.
I think this one is called Business Casual, though.
Yeah.
If that's the incorrect name, I will personally say sorry to Pali and his whole team. This one is very nice.
Yes.
So yeah, season pass available for 1,000 premium credits in the store. That's something that you probably already know. And the last thing to cover for the new season for Vanguard is the apparel events.
Yep.
And as we mentioned it early and you saw on the calendar, we're going to have 2 of them. One is a completely new one and another one coming back from year 2 season 3. Yes, the one from Concealed Agenda.
Was it? Okay. Yeah.
This is the new one. And this one features 4 new outfits. And 5th one is going to be a completion reward. And yeah, let's look at them.
Yes, so this was the idea with this one of, we try to alternate a bit in the different styles and fantasies. So with this one, we wanted to go back to something much more military inspired. So there's a bit more armor plating here. This one is one of the heavy ones, so some shoulder pads, some, armor belts here, and black and tactical, of course. So yeah, and then we have don't know if we have videos for them. Yes, we do. Then we played a bit also with, with a bit more camo, with a bit more ghillie suits and things like that to use to try to create looks and styles we haven't had. So there's always room for more nice hoodies. But what about netted hoodies like this one, for example? So yeah, it's more military, more tactical, new options that we haven't made before. Once again, the team is having more and more fun playing around with what they can do in the game and creating new things. So this is pretty exciting to see all those new looks coming out. I think this one is going to be probably my favorite.
Yeah, it looks very, very nice. This the true essence of camouflaging yourself.
And then a bit more traditional maybe, camo one and military one for people that are a bit more down to earth, but still nice looking, bit more, yeah.
It's like Che Guevara aesthetic.
Maybe a bit more detailed and a bit more sleek compared to what those that we've done in the past. It's nice sometimes to revisit things that are closer to what we've done many years ago, but adding all the learnings and all the improvements and all the new expertise that the team has built.
But at least now we have such a wide range and such a big variety of different styles. Like if you want to be dressed down in neon stripes and cat ears, we have something for you. But also if you're a fan of concealing yourself and proper camouflage, that apparel event is for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's ever going to be one style, but everybody is going to be, in love with and saying this is the one, and we want only that forever moving forward. If there's that, sure, but I don't think so. So it's just we're trying to alternate the different fantasies and the different styles between the more tactical, the more agent fantasy, the more military, the more civilian, and sometimes some things that are a bit more out there, like we had, with the Nexus, the one that we had last time. So we're trying different things, and hopefully, eventually everybody finds something that they like.
When we were finalizing the results of the previous season for the fun stats, apparently the Jean Ramen, the cap with the cat ears, that was the most popular outfit item in the previous season.
Cat ears.
Cat ears. The last resort, the apparel event is coming back from this. I think it was concealed agenda. It says so in my notes, so probably that is correct.
Must be right. Yeah.
It must be right. But then again, I was the one compiling the notes, so who knows?
So Pastaria knew what she was writing. Anyway, it's from year 2 for sure, and this was built on the factions of Warlords of New York, as mentioned earlier. So there's 2 outfits, 2 Riker-inspired outfits, 2 Cleaners-inspired outfits. I think there's like 1 heavy one and 1 lighter one for each of those factions. So some really nice and popular pieces. So if you were not here when that apparel event was running a few years ago, well, now is your chance to catch up. I mean, not now, but this season.
When is the heat wave coming back? My favorite one.
Let's do a poll. Let's ask the community when they want to see heat wave come back.
I know that it's one of those things that me and community we cannot agree on sometimes, but it was fun. I think it was very fitting for Washington.
Maybe one day we could revisit a summer-inspired, beach-themed apparel event, but I guarantee you the team today will do something that would probably look a bit better.
Flip-flops for the win. One last thing to mention, it's not a part of the apparel event. It's gonna be one of the few cosmetic bundles, something new that the team is also working on. But this is what players have been asking for a long time, and basically all the outfits of Keener and his lieutenants gonna be available throughout the season. So you can buy the whole look. I don't know if you were a fan of, Kajika or Dragov.
Yeah, you will be able to dress yourself up as one of the characters of Warlords of New York. These are uniforms, so they are complete looks, and they will be made available throughout the season on the store for you to purchase. And the idea is just, we're going back to New York. We're going to be trying to find Kelso, going through all those locations that we visited where we fought all those bad guys. So it felt like a right time to actually bring back those looks and, make them available.
I'm so looking forward to Keener's outfit. But that's pretty much it about the new season, Vanguard. It's going to be available tomorrow, right after the maintenance. So we hope to see you in the game tomorrow. But that's not everything that we wanted to talk about this stream. The next big thing that we're moving to is Project Resolve. And since we already had stream where we covered pretty much everything regarding Project Resolve, there are still a few things that we want to either highlight or remind you about, or show gameplay to illustrate some of the new features that were added to the game as a part of Project Resolve, and talk about the changes that were made following 2 PTS phases that we had. But just to remind you about Project Resolve and what that is, we still have the video on our Twitch channel with the live stream with me and Yannick, and also the message from Yannick himself and our producer in Bucharest, Radu, where they explain what Project Resolve is and why it took us so many months to actually come to this grand conclusion, and I would just love to take a moment and congratulate the whole team on their hard work, because pretty much people working tirelessly starting from August and up until this moment, bringing new features to the game, making sure that stability feels much better and there are less crashes. And those of you who tried the game on the PTS, you know that it really is true, and we managed to tackle a lot of things.
Yeah, and I think it was, it was needed for the game to take the time to actually do some fixes and work on improvements and all of that. But I mean, again, the foundation of this is really improving the quality more than all the quality of life, which is what we've done as well. But it was really about quality and stability and performances. And it was needed for the game, and hopefully, people will notice a difference when this comes out. And I hope all of you, especially those of you that have been struggling from issues, will see these issues fixed. But I think it was also great for the team, and the team did a good job at, tackling all of that and accepting the change of schedule and roadmap as well, because we had to change our content plan because of that, which is never easy. But it's what's been amazing is to see everybody react to that, and the excitement in the team for people to actually be able to go back and fix stuff. Because, bugs are frustrating for everybody playing, but bugs are frustrating for us as well. Nobody likes to ship something that is broken or that is bugged. And very often, people would like to actually go back and take the time to fix those things. And our content plans don't necessarily always allow for a lot of time to do some bug fixing. So when we told the team, okay, we're going to put everything on hold and you go back through your backlogs and you're going to be able to fix all those bugs, a lot of people were actually very excited to get to do that. And I think this shows in the numbers. The amount of bugs that were fixed, the amount of improvements that were put in here, this was way beyond our expectations when we started working on this. So it's just, kudos to the team for really pushing through this and delivering something that hopefully is going to make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And even working through all the changes, sitting through all the sprints, trying, personally, it's my personal experience trying to wrap my mind around all the planned changes and fixes. That's a very grandiose work that's been done by the team. So congratulations to all of our colleagues in Bucharest for making it happen. And we really hope that all of you will be able to find something in Project Resolve that corresponds and resonates with you specifically. And with the rest of the community, stability improvements, that's one of the biggest milestones.
Yes.
But since I mentioned that we won't be going through everything that we showed last time, mostly because we already had the Project Resolve dedicated live stream that goes into very specific and nitty-gritty details. Plus, we're going to have the full patch notes released tonight after the live stream, I believe. Those 35 pages, something of
They're
changes.
pretty extensive.
Pretty extensive, and I'm 100% sure that not everything might be there. There
probably missed stuff.
Yeah, might be things that are in the game, but not necessarily highlighted in budget. But the important thing, the biggest, the most important, improvements, balancing changes, new features, that's in the patch notes. Maybe some smaller stuff that we missed.
That we know of.
Yes. That we know.
There's always a rogue dev somewhere that made a change and didn't inform the chain of command.
This is what's going to happen with them, see?
Yeah, not allowed to face the camera anymore.
Next stream that we have.
No place for traitors, yeah.
But yeah, there are a few things that I would love to highlight Project Resolve-wise, and I think we should start with the combat gear lock, because that is the topic that generated a lot of discussions during the PTSs.
Yeah, probably the most amount of discussion. Yeah, and with gear lock, we're not going to go through the whole thing again, but it's, we thought it was an important change needed for the game, and I still believe, partially that this is an important change, but ultimately, the feedback has been very strong and very convincing that that we need to find another way to address the problems we are trying to address, and something that is maybe a bit less impactful in terms of the many years of playing the game and habits that players that you have developed playing the game. So our intention was not to just completely change the way you think about your builds and you think about engaging with content, and we didn't want to limit the options. That wasn't our intention, and it's become clear that this change was, which we felt was fairly minor in terms of impact. We realized that actually many more people than we thought like to be able to change their gear on the fly and during combat. So we put it back. You're allowed to, or we put it back. We removed gear lock, and so this is going to go back to the way it was, well, to the way it is on the live game, basically. So you will be able to change your gear. But the caveat is that we still want to bring it to conflict. We still think it's important for the vision that we're trying to implement in conflict and all the changes we're making, and making conflict a bit more of a structured PvP mode. So it will not be implemented in TU20 because we had to revert it everywhere, but we're going to extract the part that applies it to conflict and implement that one in the game again with TU 20.1. So expect Gearlock to come back in conflict only with TU 20.1.
And basically only beyond spawn areas.
You will only be able to swap your gear on spawn areas.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess by popular vote, removal of combat gear lock wins except for conflict.
You win that one. That one time.
There were a lot of discussions, not only within the community, also among the team members, and
yeah, I mean it was very polarizing, and even amongst the team, and we had a lot of great discussions on our side as well on this, and we have some ideas on what we can do in the future that hopefully could address the issues we are trying to address without having to drastically change the experience, but that's future talk.
Yeah, and since we already started talking about conflict, there are also a few changes that are coming to conflict with Project Resolve. Some of them you probably already know about. Some of them were available on PTS. But yeah, just to recite everything, extended loot pool. Cache is going to be giving more items, and with the possibility of the third one. Also, there was a significant XP boost to align with all the world activities. And I think we mentioned it already, but just once again, Shade and expertise bonuses were removed from the conflict. I know that there were also some feedback regarding that, and some people might feel upset about this removal, but that is another thing that we explained in detail on the Project Resolve stream that we had in December.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, I mean, just to explain it here just for a minute, but it's just with conflict, we want conflict to be the purest PvP experience, where gear still matters, but the optimization of your gear and the time you've spent optimizing that gear is less important, and what is more important is your skill as a player. So your gear matters, but it shouldn't be the deciding factor between you and another player. What we want to be the deciding factor between you and another player is how good of a player are you playing this cover-based shooter game. And going back to a more shooter feel. If you want a more RPG experience where the thousands of hours you've put into the game are going to make a difference, then that's what the Dark Zone is for. And the Dark Zone is less about fairness and much more about who's the strongest. So this is the differentiation we wanted to make, and with that in mind, we still really think that it's important to take shade levels and expertise out of the equation, because these are stats that are basically just increased by your playtime and the efforts you've put into the game. They are optimization stats that we think do not belong in conflict.
But of course, that being said, we're still open to feedback. since these changes were only tested during PTS phases and
With the PC community, yeah.
yes, and we know that it's only available to PC players, so please keep your feedback coming. It's still very important, and as you noticed with the example of the combat gear lock, even strongest opinions can be overruled by having enough feedback from the community.
Well, and I mean, I don't want to make it sound like if you scream loud enough, we're going to change. But it's, we want to see it in action, and we want to see how people interact with it, and we want to see the conversation online between people and see the pros and cons and what the vast majority of people think. So yeah. We put it out there, and of course, as everything with a live game, nothing is ever set in stone. We can always keep tweaking and keep modifying in future updates. And with Conflict, we will keep working on it and improving it anyway. So yeah, we are not going to just put this and say, okay, our work is done. There's more things we need to look at.
But that's also the gist of the Project Resolve. Like, it's not a singular update that happened once and it will never be touched again.
Yep.
No, it's like a continuation. It's a process. And there are going to be changes and adjustments following this release as well. And of course, we're going to keep you informed and as much as we can. Talking about other changes, because I think we cover pretty much everything conflict-wise. There is also Dark Zone that I would love to mention. For the Dark Zone, there were feedback and discussions regarding the rogue activation timer, and it was also changed. Now it's going to be 3 seconds.
Yeah, so this is the sweet spot we think we've landed on with the PTS, and the idea here again is to. I said earlier the Dark Zone is not about fairness, but we still want to make sure that players have an opportunity to react when someone is going rogue, and that is just for non-invaded Dark Zone, by the way. For invaded Dark Zone, the timer remains at 0.75 as it is. So it's also bringing some differentiation between invaded and non-invaded. So if you're really after the tough, hardcore Dark Zone experience, invaded is probably more for you. But we wanted to give a bit more of a chance to react, and we don't want. It's not that we don't want players to go rogue in the Dark Zone. It's just we want that to be a strategic decision you make. So you need to to commit and to really. It can't be just something on just in the moment. It's something you need to find a space. You activate your rogue timer and then you come out again and know you're rogue. Once again. We'll see how that plays out on the game, and we'll adjust if needed. But yeah, we're pretty happy with this one.
And another thing to quickly mention that also the first rogue rank duration was increased from 20 to 30 seconds in alignment with the previous change. And yeah, what else? Expertise. No changes here, just to summarize everything and quickly mentioned the initial idea behind expertise changes. The costs were lowered to make it more accessible, and the feedback was good, but that's what people wanted for a long time, I guess.
It's less grindy, it's faster to progress through levels, so what's not to like here? We just wanted to make expertise a bit more accessible for more players and make it less of a boring grind, to be honest, to like get all the materials to try to reach the max. So it's a bit more accessible now.
And before we move to one of the new features, I just wanted to remind everyone that if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. They will be collected by our community managers, for me and Yannick, to answer live once we're done showing all the changes. So that's your chance to ask a question. and that's next thing that it's not really in connection to expertise, but also in connection kinda as a new feature that we talked about a lot. It is called tinkering. It was not on the PTS due to some technical issues, but we want to show you how it works and explain why this change was needed and what can be done with tinkering. And I know that we have a gameplay video for you to see. And the most fun stuff about tinkering, first of all, it's the recalibration station formally that has been reworked and received a new flow, a new UI. And the most amazing thing that it can be done on the go. It doesn't matter where you are on the map, what sort of activities you're engaged in. You do not need to go back to the base of operations. It's available to you almost everywhere.
Yeah, I think the idea was really that like we want to try to reduce the amount of times you have to go back to the base of operation and really have these two. There's almost two division games, you know. There's the game where you're in the action and you're playing the shooter game, and then there's the inventory management game that is just equally as long, if not longer, where you're in the base of operations, going through your loot and like looking at, okay, what can I optimize, what can I recalibrate, what do I keep, what do I not keep, and I mean not all of that is solved. But one big aspect of that was the recalibration and the optimization. And we felt that this is something that maybe belonged a bit more in the action part. And the idea is just, it's, you know, if you're dropping a piece of loot during a mission or while playing anything, that is almost an upgrade. All you would need is to optimize it or to recalibrate it and it would be an upgrade. Why not be able to do that directly and then go back into the action with your upgraded loot? Why have you, wait until the next time you're going to back to a base of operation? So with tinkering, we not only improved the flow, but also made it, available directly through the inventory, and you can do it on the go, you can do it wherever you want. You can still go to the station, as in this video, you can still go to the station to do it, but you have the exact same functionality directly from in your inventory. And the great thing is that you can not only open the tinkering station from your inventory, but you can also, and we don't see that in the video, but you can actually also directly from any item in your inventory, you can recalibrate it and optimize it without having to go through the tinkering screen, which is probably the best improvement we have here. And I don't know if a lot of people noticed that, but you can, while you're changing your equipment, you're in your backpacks, you want to change your backpack, you can directly recalibrate or optimize this backpack from that screen. You don't even have to go through the tinkering screen to do that. So it's going to be a huge gain of time for a lot of players.
Yeah, and the only difference in the functionality is going to be that when nothing is highlighted, the new button just going to open the menu itself. But when you have a specific item selected, it's going to open tinkering features for this specific highlighted item.
So yeah, it's reusing the existing mechanics, but just making it much more accessible and much more friendly to use. So I'm just excited to go in my inventory and look at it and start optimizing more things and recalibrating more things. This also includes the expertise, by the way, even though we didn't mention that, but that also allows you to donate items and to increase expertise on items from the inventory as well, or from the tinkering screen in the inventory as well. So you don't have to go back to the boo either for that.
Yeah, because it also has the recalibration library and expertise menus available on the go.
Yep.
And there were also a few changes for the global events, and we extensively talked about them last time. Also not something that was available on the PTS, just because it's not technically possible to switch on, switch off global events on a separated environment. But we prepared a small video to highlight some of the gameplay changes, some of them more visible than others, but we will walk you through them.
It's not always easy to convey fun through a gameplay video on global events. So apologies if some of them do not do a great job at at showing the changes. But basically, so here we have Guardian. So one of the big change we've made with Guardian is that now you actually can damage NPCs that are guarded. You're just going to, do much less damage. But if you have this rusher that is coming your way and that rusher is protected by a Guardian, you will be able to take it down, which was one of the biggest, frustration with Guardian until now, was that you had to take the Guardian out before you could kill the rusher. Now you can take care of the most important threat first and then go after the Guardian. It's just going to take you a bit more time. And then after that, I think we've increased the bonus. We've made a few changes here and there to try to make it more fun and more rewarding. And that's been the general gist with those global events. And what we've been trying to achieve is just make it more fun when you actually play it right and less punishing when you don't play it right. Because obviously our benchmark was Golden Bullet, which we know is by far the most popular global event. But it is popular because it is very straightforward. It's like, shoot the right NPC and then you get a buff, and then you're just going to, be godlike for the duration of the buff. And we wanted the other global events to be a bit more on par with that philosophy of like, just do the thing and then have fun. If you do it wrong, it's fine. Try again and have fun. No reason to punish you.
Yep. So for Hollywood,
yeah,
triple the explosion.
Yeah, Hollywood is just bigger explosions because that's what it's about. And also the big change we've made is because it is a global event that is about explosions and about your signature weapon. That's actually the global event where you should be able to play your signature weapon the most. We've made it now so when you're killing NPCs, you can drop signature ammo directly on your location, so you don't have to go there. It's much more generous in signature weapon ammo as well. So it's really the one where when you play it right, you should be able to keep your signature weapon up for a much longer duration. So it's really the Rampage global event where you're just dealing explosions and using grenade launchers or flamethrowers or whatever from all directions and yeah, just blow stuff up. And then after that, I don't know which one we have. Next one is what gonna be?
We'll wait for the
Let's find out.
Polarity switch.
Polarity switch.
Yay.
Yeah, so polarity switch is, there's two things we wanted to do. And this one is one of the examples of a global event that can be punishing when you do it wrong. Because here it was, you have to respect the polarity of the NPCs, but if you shoot the wrong NPC, you lose your buff. And that can be punishing really fast, or not punishing, but at least frustrating because your polarity changes when you reload, and so you're not always in control of what polarity you have, and you think you have the right one and you have the wrong. So now we've made two drastic changes with it. The first one is that you only lose stacks when you kill an NPC of the wrong polarity, not when you shoot it. So it's much more forgiving. You hopefully will notice before the NPC is dead. And the second one is that when you're killing NPCs of the right polarity, we are refilling, I can't remember if it's all or part of your magazine. But the idea is that, especially taking the reload out of the equation, which was one of the main issues that kind of took you out of the flow when you were playing a polarity switch, was like, I'm in a good flow, I'm in yellow, and I'm killing yellow NPCs. But now I need to reload. Now I'm blue, but I was preparing for this, and so now it's hopefully the flow is just going to feel a bit more natural and a bit more fun.
And also the stacks were lowered from 5 to 4, and the bonus per stack was increased to 25% from 20.
Yeah. So actually stacks are more powerful, and it's going to be easier to reach max stacks. So it's also going to feel a bit more snappy.
What's next? It's like a chocolate box. Shade exposed.
Shade exposed, yeah. So with shade exposed, it's just tweaking and fidgeting with the buff to try to make it more efficient, to try to keep the uptime run a bit longer, to try to really focus on the fun of the gameplay, the cover to cover mechanic, applying the pulse to everyone, and really feeling like when NPCs are pulsed, you get to do all the fun stuff. So it's no drastic changes, but just more efficient and a bit more fun. Hopefully.
Yeah, the pulse radius was increased, and now you only take 65% damage compared to 150% that was before if you hit the pulsed enemies.
Yep.
And the last one,
finally,
Reanimated.
Reanimated. Yeah, Reanimated is just... what did we do with this one? I think we increased the explosion or the smoke when you headshot enemies, and I think when we've increased the bonuses you get from that
From the
headshots. So same, just I almost want to say more dumb, but in a good way. Click on heads, have fun. I don't know that we're going to see a headshot here. Probably not.
There was one later on, but we already covered it. But I mean, it's up to all of us to play and try the new global events now with the new mechanics. Not really new, it's just upgraded, reinvented.
Yeah, and we can always tweak them even more. But it's hopefully they are going to make seeing other global events a bit less of like here comes the shot. Here comes the headshot. Nice. It's just going to be to just seeing other global events come feel a bit more exciting.
And the next thing we know, people are going to be asking for, I don't know, Reanimated, and not the.
No, people are going to be asking for a buff of Golden Bullet at this rate.
You said it yourself.
Not gonna happen.
Two more positive news. I promise that we're going to go back to Descent because there are a few other things that we need to cover besides the new exotic gun Vindicator that's going to be available exclusively in Descent. But once again, if you have it, you can use it anywhere else. But yeah, a few other things that we need to highlight, and I lost the card. But we'll just recite them from memory.
Take my card. You lead.
First of all, talent pool rotation. That is also another thing that we received a lot of helpful feedback on during the PTS phases, and was decided to shorten the rotation from originally it was supposed to be a week. Now it's going to be only 3 days. So every 3 days you're going to have an updated talents pool, and pool is going to consist of 35 talents and 6 exotic talents each pool. Cool? I don't know, maybe you wanted to comment.
No, but it's I know that some people had thoughts on the idea of the talent rotation, but it's what we're trying to fight here is just that every season we're adding more talents, and it's getting harder and harder in Descent to actually get what you want. So we want something that's a bit more curated around specific play styles. And we know that the current, the existing curation of talents in the pools we have is not necessarily the most popular for everyone. So we'll see. And that's something that can live over time, and that's going to organically grow and change depending on feedback. So if some talents we find out don't really work in this pool, they can go in another pool, and we can tweak them. So all of that can be improved. Now we have a full UI support that really displays everything, and so you really understand what's going on. And overall, all of that should help with making Descent a bit easier to get into and to get what you want and to reach a level of power that makes the experience satisfying and makes you ready to go face the Nemesis, which you will face faster because of the changes we've made as well. So yeah, it should just make Descent a bit more streamlined in a way.
Yeah, talking about Nemesis, the minimal requirement for the loop is loop 4 now, and the maximum is 9. So you can reach Nemesis faster, but then again, as it is with Descent, reaching Nemesis faster is a really good thing or not?
It's your choice.
It's depends also on the options that you're gonna have. Another thing that we need to mention, and now we're gonna have 4 new outfits also available through Descent with 4 different color variations. I also know that a lot of people like them during the PTS. Outfits, it's always great. Plus added exotic named and reconstructed caches in the NCA Tech Store. That is not what some of the players were asking about following the PTS, but this is another thing that you can find information in the dev commentary and regarding the potential prices.
Ah.
I don't know, do we want to comment on it?
I'm not sure what you're talking about, so.
Okay, let's just skip it then. Just a brain fart. It happens. And also decrease the requirements for rewards from 1 to 5 loops, and you will be able to receive more loot caches and rewards for completing the same number of loops as before.
Yeah. So again, it's just going to be it's going to be a bit faster. It's going to be rewarding. There's more things in the store then that is or in the shop that is connected to Descent. Yes, some of the prices might be might be debated, and but yeah, we have more options now. And once again, we'll look at the economy of it and we'll make adjustments if needed.
Yeah, and I'm just going to remind about the changes that were made previously that you also can find on the Trello board regarding the percentage chance of dropping specific caches, and also Nemesis cache that is now much easier to obtain than it was before because it's a 50% chance. But yeah, there is the Vindicator again. Looks cool, only available in Descent. Not going to be dropping anywhere else anytime soon, but the price is very affordable, and yeah.
Well, it's predictable. That's the most important thing, because you can get it on the shop as well. So it's the good thing with this is it doesn't have to be a very low drop rate, and you have to grind the mode and again and again and again for 8 chance to get it. There is a predictable path to it. So you just you get the currency and you can save up to eventually purchasing it. So if you really want it, you can be confident you will be able to buy it eventually.
And I think that's pretty much it for Descent regarding project resolve changes, but we still have a few more quality of life updates that I would love to highlight. And we'll probably start with the skill modes, because there is a new system, duplicate removal for skill modes. So do you want to?
Yeah, so the idea with skill modes, and that's one step in that direction also of trying to make inventory management a bit less cumbersome. But with skill mods, what we've decided to do is that you can only have one copy of each bonus. And so now when you drop a new mod that has a better roll on that same bonus, it's just going to upgrade the one you have in your inventory and auto-deconstruct and everything. So basically what that means is that you no longer need to hold on to 3 copies of the same bonus and then go back in your inventory and be like, wait, which one is the best? But which one do we have equipped and what's going on here? The game is going to do all of that for you. So you just need to go hunt for better versions. But then once you find them, it's all going to be updated automatically. So it's going to be a much smoother experience with less unnecessary inventory management.
Yeah, and the construction is also going to be automated, and you're going to receive the printer filament automatically, depending on basically the skill mode that was deconstructed. But that's not it. There was also an update made to Stash, and we have a video to show. Basically now you will be able to see the item count of the stash displayed when approaching it, so you do not really need to assess it and open it to know how many slots you have left.
It's a small touch, but it helps. So you just as you walk to it, you get a direct indication of how full it is and what's in there. So these are the small things that when you add all of them on top of each other, it just makes the experience a bit like removes some of the friction of the experience. So isolated, maybe not a huge change, but it's a nice touch.
No, or when you're passing by, for example, and just catch a glimpse of it, also a good thing to have.
Yep.
One last feature that I wanted to highlight, and I saved it for the very end. There is going to be a new vendor added, not starting from tomorrow. It's going to be also 20.1, and this is a textile vendor. His name is Danny Beaver.
Yeah, and so this is finally a vendor that's going to sell you stuff for textiles. So it's for those players, those of you, you know who you are, who are sitting on a lot of textiles and have nothing to spend it on. And we want to make textiles a bit more interesting. So now you will have this vendor that you will need to locate in a similar way to the way you need to locate Cassie Mendoza. He's called Danny Weaver, and as you can see, you can buy caches for textiles. Those caches are on a limited stock, so you cannot buy an infinite amount of them. You will be only able to buy a certain amount per rotation. So don't go out there expecting you're going to be able to spend hundreds of thousands on unlimited exotic caches. There is some limitations here, but at least over time, you know, that becomes one of those things you do on a regular basis of going to check the stock of that vendor or buy the cache and then come back next time.
Yeah, this specific vendor would not be shown in the patch notes for tomorrow since it's 20.1, but once we are there, we'll update information about the rotation and all the stuff that you can get from Danny Beaver. I just love that their surname is Beaver. Very on brand.
Sometimes we're just incredibly creative.
Was it Lauren who came up with the idea of just... Hello, Lauren. That's almost it. A few other things that I want to mention before we move to answering your questions. Just a few quick things. With the project resolve, we also added a few new commendations for the Paradise Lost incursion. All the details you will be able to find in the patch notes after the live stream. So don't miss it. It's going to be on our website and all the social media, the usual stuff.
Just one comment on this is just that, okay, it's commendations on the incursion and what's the big deal. And the big deal is that we can do commendations again. We relearned how to do that. And I know that some of the new commendation hunters have been asking for that for a while, and we've released a bunch of content with the game without commendations. So we're going to try to, you know, retroactively start adding commendations to content we've released. But you can, you know, hopefully you can expect that moving forward with new TUs, new commendations are going to be added, and this is going to be a thing again.
Yay, new patches. Fun. Another thing about the projects, also that is something that we talked about a lot during the previous live stream, but there was one change made since then, and in the reward pool, you're going to have one exotic component for daily projects and 3 exotic components for weekly projects. All other stuff remains unchanged. The full details in the patch notes again. And one last thing, since there were a lot of balancing changes made, and that's not something that we covered specifically in this live stream, but status effects, talents, weapons, gear sets, some of them underwent a lot of changes. And in response to this, we decided to wipe out the leader sports. There are a lot of them.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
A lot of them, yes. And some that I need to mention, the Keenly College, Strongholds, Raids, Standard and Invaded Solomon Group. We do not have the full list yet. It's just for the general information, but
yeah, it's just some of them are here since the launch of the game and have never really been purged. So we felt that with Project Resolve it was time to actually do a wipe on them and start fresh to really try to highlight the performances of our current players and remove the pollution we've had from the past with some of the abuse and exploits and even not necessarily pollution, but even old achievements that have been made by people who no longer play the game. So we thought it made sense to wipe a lot of the leaderboards in the game, and again we'll get the full list and give that to you so you can see which ones are and which ones are not. We're trying to be respectful of some of the best achievements like raid leaderboards and this kind of stuff. But yeah, like mission ones and like specific activities will be wiped. And that's something that we can consider moving forward, potentially, to do that on a more regular basis as well, to make sure that we keep the leaderboards actually up to date with the players that play the game today. And if you didn't make it this time, maybe next rotation you will have a chance to top it.